Good evening. How y'all doing? Um, Obviously, super excited how everything went tonight to be able to acquire Talik. Obviously, been watching him for a really long time. He's played a lot of football there at a very consistent level, and he just has a lot of traits and qualities that we're looking for, and he's going to fit right in here like a glove. So we spent a lot of time with him during the process leading up to this, and we were very, very impressed after each time that we were able to spend time with them. Questions?
He's a little bit unique in the fact that he's kind of built like maybe a nose tackle, but played mostly three technique there at Ohio State. How do you view him? Is it the ability to kind of do all those things up front?
Yeah, I do think that he's got a lot of versatility in his game. I think one of the things is not only he has the physical skill set, he's got the power, and he's got the bend and the agility. Like, he's a very nimble athlete, but the thing about it is that he's incredibly instinctive too. In my opinion, him and one other DT that was in this class were the top two instinctive defensive tackles in this whole class, and he was one of those guys. So I think his versatility is really going to help. He has a lot of similar traits to Aleem McNeil. Almost similar body type. I just think that, he might be, Aleem came out more nose tackle-ish a little bit. Obviously slimmed his body down, became a three technique. I think he's kind of coming in closer to that right now.
I know that's big for you, just how he fits into this organization, and why he was the Lions character guy.
You're saying that he?
In a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. He was, he kicked it off at the combine, and then obviously our scouts had a lot of intel on him. We knew all about him, but I remember his interview at the combine. He really blew it out the park, knocked it out the park with his intelligence and how much he knew about the game. You keep, like I said, kind of building a house with the character portion of it, and then we were able to bring him in on the top 30, and he knocked it out again. So he just kept checking those boxes. But he's a good kid. He's mild-mannered. He doesn't say a lot. He's more about his business. But, he fits in right here, not only just from the physical qualities, but he's going to fit in with the other standards that we have around here.
Not a lot of trade action in the first round, comparatively to other years, not this organization, but on the whole. How did this first round play out, I guess, to maybe the organization's projections for it?
Yeah, it was, I will say it got a little tight towards there, kind of leading up to our pick. The run that we were hoping to see happen didn't happen as early as we might have thought, but it did come. It kind of came in the middle of the rounds, and then once that run happened, then we felt a lot better, about being able to land him, and it was a handful of guys, but he was our top target.
What does it look like when there's 2 trades and 4 picks right before you guys come up? Like, is there some panic, or you're just like, what is it like?
It just depends. We do a lot of work beforehand, what a team needs and all of that. And so we have all that information. So when you see a team that has a need at, IDL or something, and they start trading up, or they might be calling you to trade, and then you see just maybe, that one left up there, and you're kind of like, don't feel great about that. It's just getting a little thin. So, yeah, you kind of there was a lot of, I don't want to say panic, but there's a little anxiety there. The breathing got a little irregular at times, but we're thrilled with how it panned out.
He was really disruptive as a pass rusher during the playoff. How much, potential do you think that area of his game has?
Yeah, I do. I think he's, I don't want to call him a mirror image, but I think he's a lot like, the guy that we have now in Aleem, in terms of being able to catch an edge, rush with power, have instinct. He's got quickness. He can counter. I know his pass rushing stats aren't off the chart, but when you watch the tape, you see that he's a 3-down player.
What does it give your defense when you have two elite McNeils out there at once?
Yeah, it gives us versatility. And again, they're very unique because I think someone said it like, well, he looks like a nose tackle, but he can play 3 technique. I think I might have said that when we drafted Aleem he looked like your traditional nose tackle, but he's not one of those one-dimensional nose tackles. He has stuff inside of his body that's very nimble and agile and able to do a lot of different things. And I think Talik is the same way.
There were some, I think a lot of people might have expected or hoped that you would pick an edge rusher with your first pick.
I know. I was waiting for that to come.
And obviously there are some still on the
Yeah,
board there.
absolutely.
At your pick. Were you tempted to move up? Are you confident you can still find an elite edge rusher in the second time?
Yeah, we'll just kind of see. I have some ideas in mind already, and again, I'm not saying it's going to be for that specific position, but just like I tell you guys all the time, we're not going to reach for a position. The player has to be able to be a productive player that plays that position. But yeah, there's still some guys left out there. Already got some ideas brewing. It might be just staying patient. It might be going up. But we just got to see how this thing unfolds.
Calls for your pick, and did you have much interest in moving back?
Got a few calls when it got close to our pick. Just didn't feel great. Just kind of how it was thinning out for us specifically. That's the fascination of the NFL, right? It's 31 other different boards, and you have no idea. You can do all the research in advance, and the team, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you truly don't know. And that's what makes it fun. So you just got to just kind of, try to make the most responsible decision as you can. And, so we thought about it. There was one enticing one, but, we just felt that with the depth of that group right there and how the board was falling out, felt that it was the most responsible thing to stay put.
I think one to still pick today, or an enticing one to move back and still pick today.
Yeah.
You said you've already got some ideas brewing. You know yourself. Do you think you're going to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow with just a guy you feel like you've got to come up and get?
Justin, you know how I am, man. That's why I kind of want to just, hesitate a little bit on that answer right now. But, it just depends on how I'm feeling tomorrow. But the good thing about it is that there's still some good players that are worth. So if I, wake up and, have that feeling and, Dan has similar feeling as well, there's a chance, but we'll just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, you said in Florida, I think you said you were kind of getting a little heavy at the defensive tackle spot there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you signed Roy and brought Levi back, and he's got some flexibility. But does this say anything about Aleem and maybe his availability? And this is picked apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I said it in Florida that it's a good chance that we might be without him at the start of the season. So, with the depth that we have, then that stabilizes that position for the immediate. But also, that's what's so great about this pick is that we thought Talik was a great fit for the now and the immediate, but even more excited for the future when you look the years ahead.
Jameson Williams, did you make or take any calls on him? I know there was a Sports Illustrated report the other day that sort of mentioned him as the guy that could be traded in the draft.
No, that's something that we have never entertained. I don't know where that report came from, but that's not a conversation that me and Dan has ever had. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.